We're back here again this year at the Australian Lure, Fly and Outdoors Expo, and there's been a whole lot on this year. It's bigger, there's a lot more people here, and it's getting better every year. Come and take a look at what's on offer. We've got a whole heap of the usual suspects with just amazing creations, especially some of these really big cod lures. There's always a good showing of great cod lures here. Every year they've got stuff. It's really impressive, and the finishes are getting better every year. There's some big jointed paddlers here. I'm going to show you this big gar. I'm going to go around and take you around to Maury Kneebone's stall. And there's even some creative little flies over here. You see those little flies in there? Little crickets and things, little shads. There's a little bib diving turtle in there with a little solar panel on the top. Crazy stuff. Some ornamental lures. So come with us. We'll go for a walk around all the stalls. It's my style all the time. We're late getting here. I've been in the stall all day, just with little games for kids and things. These are some locally moulded plastics. These are from Dee's Fishing. There's always a huge array of big cod stuff. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Are these some of Jaren's creations?
They are. Numbers 2 and 3.
Wow. Oh, the never-ending story.
That was how we got these two. Is he swapped?
For that.
So
wow.
We're displaying it, but he gets to take it home.
Can I show a little bit of this off?
Yeah.
As well.
They're awesome. They're so cool.
So, this is something that Jaren Sorrell makes, and he's such an artistic beast. Really creative from Caloundra Fishing World. And did he do you a swap, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, this is one lure that I saw when I came through early. I was like, oh, full nostalgia.
Yes.
Yeah. See that? Is that the first time you guys have had this at the show? I think it's the first time, hey?
He posted photos of it on, I think, on his Facebook page.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, most of his stuff usually he doesn't hold on to for very long.
Yeah.
That was the original prototype. That's one of the few lures that I keep some occasionally. I'm like, no, you're not partnering with them.
Yeah. So these are gobsmacked lures. You can see big yabby profiles, big cod stuff. Hi guys. Look at these big mud eyes.
I need to come outside.
It's all sort of wrapping up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these things are awesome.
Yeah.
And I sort of thought a little bit gimmicky until I started fishing them and speaking to a few guys that catch big cod on them.
Well, that guy sold catch cod.
Yeah, they're cod lures and they fish really well.
What are you eating?
Just like a rat that would fall
I
out.
had to go in.
Yeah.
What do I try?
We're going to run out here, Johnny. I think everyone's sort of packing up, mate.
Yeah.
There's always heaps of 6 spinnerbait, big cod stuff. Come down here, I want to show you. This is one of the lures that changed my year last year. The old bloke is a genius in my opinion. Been making these things for a long time, refining the whole thing. But if you've seen my giant flathead DVD, you'll know exactly what this is. And it's one of the reasons I was excited to get in here. These are these Crossfire Lures. How are you, Crossy?
Yeah, I'm well. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Can I steal you for a quick rundown on some of the design features of your lures, mate?
Yeah, sure.
So,
sure.
I saw these, like, I think it was 2 years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, back at Beamley, at Ipswich.
Yep.
And you were banging them with a hammer, and I was like, I've never seen a lure so strong. What's going on, mate? Where's that all come from?
Okay, what it is, it's a compound that we call superfoam, but it's basically a polypropylene.
Yeah.
And when it's shot into the mould, it shoots into the mould and then expands into the mould.
Right.
And tightens inside that mould.
Okay.
And once that's cooled off,
Yeah.
we end up with this super hard, super durable
Yeah.
lure at the end of it. And it's a wonderful product.
Yeah.
You can do just about anything with it.
Yeah.
And the reason it works so well in these lures is it's the rate of rise in the water column. That's what makes it such a crisp action lure. It's that rate of rise.
Once I started catching big flathead on that, a lot of pieces started to fall into the right place, and I started to understand what big flathead like.
Yep.
And I started to understand the fish a lot better, and boy, did I have some good sessions on those things.
Yeah, it is an addictive form of fishing. It's very visual. We've had fish come up out of the water. We've had them 360. We've had them bang along across the top of the water like a big garfish.
Yep.
We've had all sorts of different takes, and you'll find all sorts of different takes. You'll get anything from a tiny little brim sip till you'll swear somebody threw a Bessa block brick in the water.
That's the thing that got me first, mate. The massive take that I've had big barra take me off the surface, and then I've had big flathead, and it was very like that. It just put, and then it jumped and cartwheeled, and it was. The experience was like nothing else I'd experienced for flathead fishing.
Yeah, it is an addictive form.
Yeah.
And one thing we've found over the years while we were field testing these is the things that we learned about our target species being of flathead.
Yeah.
And that is the way that flathead's anatomy works, how its eyes work in particular.
Right.
So when you're talking about surface luring for flathead, a flathead's cone of vision is an inverted cone like that, okay? But there's a weakness in that whole system, and that is that fish cannot see that far in front of its face because its eyes are out here. And that's why you'll see big fish, just before they hit that lure, they'll turn slightly sideways and come in for the attack, and the reason for that is they're trying to get one eye on the prize.
Right. And the experience I've had, like fishing with these things, a lot of people go and fish with flathead with 3-4 inch lures and they get success. I went in at the bigger end because I've been using big stick baits and glide baits and things, and I went for a 195. But going out there and doing it, I reckon you can't go too big. And so I've come in this year super excited because there are giants here, these big 230s, that it's kind of laughable to think for a big flathead, but I'm convinced that he's got the recipe right, and I can't wait to try these big giant lures. The other thing, you guys have been using them offshore, right?
We have, yes.
Yeah, right.
We've used them on GT, mackerel, Spanish, all sorts of things are hitting them.
Yeah.
The 195, we've also, it's strange because you can take that lure, you can fish for flathead, and the next week you can take it out to the reefing and chase coral trout.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a really, really tough, durable lure. It'll take a hell of a lot of punishment.
I've smashed mine to bits to the point where the paint, after heaps of big flathead just chummeling this thing, the paint's gone in the middle, but the lure's integrity is still right there.
Yeah.
There's no problem.
There's no hollow cavities in it, so there's nothing for water to break into.
Yeah.
It won't warp, it won't rot. It's virtually indestructible.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, yeah, this has been one revelation for me, these big Crossfire lures in the last 12 months. If you haven't seen my latest Flathead DVD, then you're missing out. And if you need some convincing, it's probably worth getting yourself a handful of these.
I think the Firehead's a pretty good all-round colour. Yeah. It's probably been our best producer on fish, that colour.
Yep.
The Pearl White is another good one. I like it.
Yep. You run these pretty specialised hooks. Can you buy these by themselves off your website?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
I don't know if you're going to be able to see them. Yeah.
We've now got them in 3 different colours. We originally started with red.
Yeah.
We've now got them in yellow and white.
Yeah.
They're tied in Australia.
Right.
So all we do is we import the hook out of Canada.
Yeah.
And we put the feathers on them ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, for me, that a lot of the time I was getting hooked up on that rear hook.
Yeah.
That single big hook that sits out the back of it. Crossy, thanks for taking the time, mate.
My pleasure.
It's been a game changer for me,
right.
mate. The
Thanks,
last
man.
6 months. Can you just have a look up here? You can see some of the giants that they call, eh? And big kingy. Insane. All the best for the rest of the expo, boys.
No worries. Thanks for
And
dropping in.
yeah, we'll catch up with you again.
Yeah. Let me know how that pink one goes. I'm interested to find out what happens.
Right, have a look at these. Muggo's Lures has been a bit of a stay. They've been here for a while. They've always got a sick display of big cod stuff. And finishes on these are awesome. A lot of really big, bright, obvious colours. Big walkers, even with big spinnerbait skirts out the back. Big jointed lures. Come around here, Johnny. We've got one of the nicest blokes in the show here. He's just about to pack up. How are you, Maury?
Good, Johnny.
Yeah, good. Mate, can I get you for a minute just to run us through some of your latest productions?
Well,
We've got this gar.
the small one, the last of the small ones I had just got sold now.
Right.
So
You want to go and grab it?
We're gonna. No, I'll end up doing a review on it, I'm sure, in time. But I just spotted these when we rolled up about 5 minutes ago, mate. Can you talk to me about the action and the design of this thing?
well, it's a stick bait. It's got weight in the rear end, so it sits sort of down like that. But you can, with a stiff enough tip, you can walk the dog with it, no worries. A couple of people have been using it for chasing tail off the rocks. They just cast it out and it's constant slow retrieve in a straight line. It works that way as well. So you can vary your retrieve, and but I think it'd probably even work offshore on a high-speed troll, chasing your plates, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you've got a through wire right the way through.
Single bit of wire running through. There's inside here. There's number two ball sinkers that are on the wire.
Yeah.
To create sort of weight in the rear end for casting purposes. Also keeping the bait, the back of it down. So for high speed. They're triple strength VMC hooks.
Yep.
They can be upgraded to 6x strength if you wanted to, but the VMC triple strength are pretty good quality hooks.
Yeah, right.
Strong and hard wearing.
And geez, they're an awesome design, mate. I can't wait to use this. And I'm interested in using this in the estuaries in the first part, and then maybe getting it offshore.
Chasing flathead.
It's going to catch some really big flathead. They turned the lights off on us, but that's all good. You've still got like your range you've had for a long time, your barra stuff and big jack lures, and the finishes on those. Look at these. Look at the finish on some of these. Yeah, that's all right. And you've got a much smaller one in this. When I saw it, I was like, whiting and brim for sure.
Yeah, well, that's it's a photo here that someone bought in for me. There was a good size whiting they got. That was on the 85mm garfish.
Yeah, so that's a little, you can just walk that little thing across the surface.
Yeah.
Look at these little things he's got.
Their stick baits I've been making for a while. They're very popular.
Yeah.
Good for both fresh and salt. Bass love them.
And over the years, I've used these for bass and for flathead, and for trolling. These things, you can troll them at such a high speed, and they just stay so true. That's just amazing. The design on them is fantastic. For a handcrafted lure design, they stay so true to themselves. And you can see there in the design of the hanger there, just the toe point, and the construction. They're all really well made. So
all full length wire.
Yeah.
With 24-hour super strength arrow light. Try to make them as strong as possible. All the eyes point forward. That's the way it's going through the water. I believe that that's sometimes good eyes can trigger a strike from a fish. So. And
I love these. They look just like a little baby whiting for me when they're running along the bottom of the sand. So. Mate, it's always great to catch up with you at the show, and I hope you have a good weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll let you know when I get one of my big photos on one of these things.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, Maury. Cheers, mate.
All right, thanks, John.
We'll catch up with you.
See you next time, mate. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Johnny. That's great, mate. Right. So we'll do a little. What are we going to do?
It's pretty well packed up. We'll look at it.
Yeah, we'll pack it up. All right, we'll just do a quick wrap up here. It's still rolling, mate.
Yep.
All right, well, that's everything that I could show you in about 15 minutes. Hopefully I can cut it down to a watchable bite-size video for you. There's heaps of stuff here. It's growing bigger every year. Lots of cod stuff, bass, a lot more saltwater stuff and offshore stuff this year, which is good to see. But it's a lot of fun. If you haven't been here before, you've got to get out to the Australian Lure, Fly and Outdoors Expo. It's in Beenleigh this year at the showgrounds. It has been out at Ipswich, but you definitely don't want to miss it. It's getting better every year. And some of the Australian lure makers and their design, their creativity, it's in an amazing spot at the moment. A lot of fun to come out and watch. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, Johnny. You're making all of this stuff.
Oh, mate, you just get home every day and do shit, don't you? I don't